I was born and raised here in Douglas, Arizona, 1950. And we grew up here in a patriotic environment here in Douglas, and it was your duty to go and serve your country, because that was my dad's generation and my uncles. The recruiting, the naval recruiters and the army recruiters and the military recruiters would be at the old post office. It's still there. So I was going by there and they had their doors open. So I went downstairs and he asked me how old I was, and I told him I just turned 17. Well, he says, well, you gotta go get your parents to sign a release form so we can join the military. And so I got my parents' signature, and I only got 2 signatures from these other people, and I figured to go ask this good friend of mine, his dad. I figured to go ask for his dad's signature, and I didn't realize at the time that he was a Korean veteran. And he probably, he was very quiet. He probably saw some combat. I never asked him. I never got to talk to him about that. And so he told me that he wasn't going to sign the paper. And I told him, Mr. Zroni, I go, if you don't do it, I told him, Mr. Zroni, I'll just go down the street right here and I'll find somebody else that will sign this paperwork for me. And so the gentleman came back when I guess he had went and thought about it. But he came back in tears. And he signed my paperwork. The only time I'd maybe been out of Douglas is to go to Phoenix, but we never left the state, And so I went into the military. Spent my basic training there at Fort Bliss, Texas. After I finished basic training, they sent me to Fort Sill, Oklahoma, in the middle of the United States. The only time I'd ever seen Oklahoma was on the maps, But they said you can't go to Vietnam until you turn 18. Okay, so I spent 18 months there in Fort Sill, Oklahoma.